Hello Jam, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ohemaa Bonsu, and today I'm doing a tutorial for you guys using some products that I got from makeuprevolution. I was lucky enough to have them send me a box of stuff, so if you want to see this tutorial, then keep on watching. Okay you guys, so first I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyelids with the ColourPop concealer in the shade 60. I use this to cancel out all the colors on my eyelids, and then I blend it out with a concealer brush. So after I blended everything out, I went into one of the palettes they sent me, and that's the Soph X makeuprevolution palette. And this palette I think is a beautiful palette with some beautiful warm toned colors in there. So first I took this shade over here and I used that as my transition shade, apply that in the shape that I wanted my eyeshadow in, and once I patted enough into the concealer, I went ahead and I started blending it out, and I blew it up really beautifully, and as you can see, it didn't lose its color and it was still there. So next I took that deep brown shade with another blending brush and I deepened the crease area. That's where I was going to cut my crease, and I blended that out as well. So after I went ahead and deepened that crease, I used some of that black shade. I lightly, very lightly applied that to where I was going to cut my crease, and I used a pencil brush to do this, so it was very precise. And after I applied it exactly where I wanted it to go, I went ahead and blended it out. I also made sure to put some on the outer corner of my eyelids so that it would look really good after I cut my crease. Then I went ahead and blended it out some more, and then I applied some more and I blended it out until I felt like I had the shade or the color intensity that I wanted. So after that, I went ahead and cut my crease with e.l.f. glitter glue. I've taken down some videos of my channel, but I prefer cutting my crease with glitter glue because it holds on to the shimmers really well, and the shimmer actually comes through and is not muted by the concealer. I mean, if you use a concealer to cut your crease, it helps you see your lines really beautifully. So I went in and applied a transition shimmer, which was a deeper brown shimmer shade in the palette, and I applied that to the outer corner of my eyelids towards the black that we put down in the very outer corner. In the outer corner of the I applied that to the outer corner, and then I took the second shimmer shade over here and I applied that next to the deeper shade brown that I put down. So at this point I'm just blocking it, I'm not blending or anything. And then I went in and took this pinkish shimmer shade and I applied that in the inner corner all the way down to my tear duct area. Okay, so after I felt like I put enough on there, I went ahead and started blending the colors together. First, I blended out the tear duct shimmer shade into the middle brown shade. So then I went ahead and blended the inner corner shimmer into the middle shimmer, and then I blended the middle shimmer into the outer corner shimmer. And after that, I blended out the outer corner into the black in the very outer corner. And after all that was done, I went in and applied some of the black shade in there and blended it beautifully into the outer corner shimmer shade. So then I went ahead and finished with my other eye, and I had some fallout because when I'm applying my shimmer, I actually go in. I apply a lot of shimmers to make sure that it will stick and show up really beautifully. So then I went ahead and primed my skin with the Ordinary High Spreadability Fluid Primer. Just look how this primer just makes my face, I feel like it mattifies my face, but it gives it a beautiful blurry kind of effect. I actually really do like this primer. And then I went ahead, shook my Fenty Beauty and applied that to my face. Okay guys, so I'm using the Juno & Co. Fusion Sponge to blend out my foundation, and you can find a link to the sponge in the description bar. I still have to do a video on the sponge. So then I went in with the NYX Drop Total Control Foundation in the shade Deep Espresso, and I applied that on top of that Fenty and just blended it in beautifully. I feel like this gives me a perfect shade match without being too dark or too light. I don't know how to explain it. Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C16, and I went ahead and concealed my face, and once again I blended it in with the Juno & Co. Micro Fusion Sponge. I actually really do like that sponge. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments if 13 minutes is too much or if it's just perfect. And also just leave me down below in the comments how many minutes you think is a perfect time for a video, and then we will work with that. Okay you guys, so they also sent me their terracotta powder, and I went ahead and used that to set my concealer. I have never used a powder this shade ever since I started doing makeup. And I'm so upset at myself that I didn't try to go try out different colored powders to see how they work. But I actually really like how my makeup came out using this powder. And I have a few different powders from Ben Nye coming in, so we can do a test to see what will match my skin tone. So, and what will match my skin tone. So I was really surprised by this powder. Okay, so I went ahead and contoured my face with the koyukuk contour stick in the shade Onyx, as always. And I blended it out with the Juno & Co. ES05 brush. It's their angled contour brush, and I actually really do like blending with this brush. It's absolutely amazing. Look how big it is, and it's only $2. There's a link in the description box if you want to go and check it out. So after I blended it out, I went ahead and set my contour with the Koyukuk Classic Setting Powder in the shade Deep. And then something possessed me to go ahead and cut my contour to make it sharper. But I think I applied too much powder. I was really regretting it after applying it. I was like, oh no, what have I done? But I made it work. Okay guys, so after I cut my contour, I went ahead and used some of the Koyukuk powder in the shade Deep to contour my nose. But after I was done, I realized that my contour was too dark, so I took my fusion sponge and I blended out that contour, because I really don't want a harsh looking nose if my face is all beautifully blended. So I blended out that powdered contour. Now to brush the powder off, I took some of my deep setting powder and I use that to brush it off so it can soften that line a bit. And then I was going to line my eyes, but then I actually really liked my eyes, so I decided against it. It took me a while. I was like, should I do it? But I didn't do it because I didn't want to ruin it. So then I went ahead and applied some of the ColourPop concealer in the shade 60 on my lower lids. And over here my camera was changed. Somebody changed my camera settings, so it just has this weird color. But I realized that after I was looking at it and went and changed it back to what we were using before. But I applied some of our first transition color. I applied some of our first transition color all over that concealer to set it. And then I went in with that black shade and I connected that black on my lower eyelid to my outer corner. And I blended it out with that pencil brush. And it's my Ray Ray pencil brush. And then I took some of our inner corner shimmer shade and applied that to my tear duct area, and I blended that out towards the middle of my lower lid. Okay, so I used Grandi over here. I thought that shade was going to be a little different than it actually turned out to be. So it comes with a pencil. It's a lip kit. It comes with a pencil and a matte lippy. After applying this pencil though, I was like, no, this just wasn't gonna work out. So I wiped it off and I used my ColourPop pencil in the shade Pitch, which is my absolute favorite lip liner ever. And I lined my lips, and then I applied the Grande Lippy that comes in the kit on top of that. And I just blended it out with my lips. Just kept blending until everything was beautifully blended. Okay guys, so I took that Soph X highlighter palette and I took this shade over here with that giant X on it. And I applied that to my face. So this powder or this highlighter in the palette looks like it's a creamy type of highlighter. But when you put the brush to it, for some odd reason, it comes out powdery. So when you're using it, you have to be really, really careful, especially if you're dark skinned like me. If you are not very careful, it will just go ahead and make you look very ghostly and shimmery. So I went ahead and used my Koyukuk Classic Setting Powder in the shade Deep, and I used that to blend out the highlighter so that it can tone down all the shimmery ashiness I had going on. And then I went ahead and set my face, and that was it, guys. So with this being like my first time trying out the Makeup Revolution eyeshadows, I want to say that this Soph X palette actually is pigmented enough where it shows up on dark skin, which is amazing because the palette is $15 and it actually showed up really, really nicely on my skin tone. I was really, really surprised. Follow me on Instagram because I do post most of the short videos over there, either before or after I post up here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.